What's up, guys? Welcome back. Jinu, K-pop demon hunters, lead singer of Saja Boys. So let's do this human form. No markings, just like a normal dude. Landscape page, pencil eraser, hip pause. If I go too fast, we're gonna start with his eyes. Center point of my page about here will come up over to the right hand side. So anywhere about the middle. Doesn't have to be exactly centered. So we'll go diagonal first, right? So big eyelashes on this guy. Kind of spiky on the end, right? And it's kind of like darker at the front, so you want to thicken up this part, and then it gets like gradually sort of thinner as it goes down towards the corner of the eye there. It's very sharp looking. Bottom eyelid, much smaller, sort of thinner. Like that, more or less. The eyelashes do extend out past this. They don't do much in the way of eyelid lines, but we can see big brown eyes. So, like very big, like bigger than you think. Like huge discs of eyes. Like that. That's the outside edge. And they do an interesting thing with the blacks. They're not like perfect circles. They're like, but we have to sort of do a perfect circle, don't we? Yeah. So just go down. They do real big like pupils. Right, so and then that's black. Obviously there's shines and highlights and all that kind of stuff on this. Real big pupils. So unblemished wrinkles and all the unblemished skin, so like no wrinkles, but we can see a bit of an eyelid line just on top. They really nailed like the K-pop look, you know. These kind of angelic people. Right, so his eyebrow then, so very formed square. It kind of starts here, right? And then it goes kind of a bit angled, like spiky, and then it goes back this way. Like pretty square though, like not a lot of texture, like right down like that. And then the top of it will do the same. This is just okay. Okay, so his other eye, you're about eye width over, say the white part, not like the eyelashes, just this, will fit in between both of his tear ducts, so the next eye will start here. Okay, so an eye in between, that's standard human proportion, and then it'll go back for these spiky eyelashes again. Very thin at the end, and then you want to like darken it up, bring it towards the front here. Bottom eyelash or eyelid line. Starting there in the corner. over then. Da-da-da. And then big disc eyes. Like that. And then big black pupils. Ready. Top eyelid. Like so. And then an eyebrow again, kind of spiky at the front at first, but then it gets real square. Sort of down the back. This side goes behind his hair, I think. A bit of that does as well, but still pretty much perfectly symmetrical eyebrows. Okay, so his nose then starts here. It's very straight for the bridge of it, right? Comes down this way. Might see a bit of the other side as well. Very light though. Right, so his sort of nostrils are just below each of these lines, right? He's got a very small nose. You can just shadow them up a little bit just to show that there's holes in there. And then we're going to join this part together. And then bring the sides around as well. Very angled kind of. It's the style of animation. Okay, that's basically his nose, I think. Right, his mouth, so right, yeah, mouth, right. So curving up, down in the middle, back up again. It always reminds me of like a bow and arrow sort of handle kind of shape, if you've ever used a bow and arrow. Right, that's where his lips meet, and then the top lip, very pronounced, drawn in. Like that. And then his bottom lip. Okay. So very sharp sort of features. So then his chin. Sort of here. Like so. Proportions of things. Here to here, about the same as here to here. Say like nostrils, bottom of the nose to the chin is about the same as bottom of the nose to, say, like the top of his eye there. So like this space, the top eyelid to the bottom of the nose, same as there to there, and then bottom of nose to the bottom lip line is about the same as bottom lip line to chin. There to there, about the same as there to there, roughly speaking. And we try for the jaw, strong jaw. You're aiming sort of beside sort of his mouth, right? This is where it'll change direction. Okay, it's kind of like this wine glass sort of shape, very wide for a male. And we're aiming for just across from his mouth, underneath his eyes, because that's where it changes direction and starts to go up for the side of his face. Right, and here he has sort of high cheekbones, right? So they kind of like curve a little bit. It's kind of different. Normally in animes or stuff, they go straight, but in this, we get like just a little sort of cheekbone sort of curve there on his face. Kind of like a high cheekbone sort of thing. Or like his jawline and stuff. Kind of there. I went a bit too hard on that one. Sometimes people like to add extra little lines on the cheekbone, but maybe not in this case. Right, so just on this cheekbone, we get his sharp sideburns, like a V. And then his ear comes out from here just beside the eye. And I'm not going the whole way because he has a earring. Just here, and then the earlobe finishes in there. And then they do sort of ear lines inside, like a letter J kind of thing, and then just a bit more like that. Same on this side. And his earring. Then ear lines. Just like so. Right, so hair. Right, so he's got like a split fringe. So we've got sort of a V here for where it separates, and then zigzag going that way, and zigzag going this way. and then his fringe will come out from, say, here, say, and then it'll come down onto his eyebrow there, and the other side goes just past the eyebrow here. Okay, and you'll have some textures just in underneath the fringe. And then the rest of his hair. So we got like all these hair spikes. His hair just goes into there. So this then, so we got like, it kind of gets a bit round sort of on the side here. So it goes like this way. And then various sort of bumps for his hair kind of coming out here. And going that way as well. So they go like different directions, either side of this part in his hair. And then it'll go, there'll be a sort of an ending, sort of bump in here somewhere. But then the rest will go, say, just like down this way. This might come to like a little flick out here. And then there's another. And then there's some flat hair here. And this goes that way. So this has all sort of textures on it and stuff. And then, so I think this goes behind. Yeah, so I think it just goes like this way then. Okay, so pretty wide neck, like so. And then neck muscles there. And then his shirt collar. comes out around his neck, down. It's kind of an open neck. And then this comes out for the collar part. And then shoulder goes off here and there. Okay, Jinu, human form. Hope it's helpful. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.